Dead Wells the Devil Fragment is an indie first-person Souls-like that I've known about for almost a year. I originally found it through one of the developer's videos on YouTube and have had it in my wishlist ever since. A demo for the game was just released on Steam and I have beaten it, so in this video I'll tell you what I liked about the game, what I didn't like, and whether or not I think it's worth playing. I'll start by talking about the thing that immediately sticks out about Dead Wells, which is its retro PS1 inspired visuals. This style is executed really nicely. The environments, enemies, animations, all of that looks awesome in my opinion. I personally love games with this kind of low poly retro look. With that said, I have two complaints about the game's aesthetic. First of all, images, like in the UI and menus, and also the portraits of characters that are speaking to you, are made in a much more modern, clean style, and I think most of that does not match at all with the retro look of everything else. My second complaint is that the horses, and I know this is going to sound weird, but the horses in the game are really silly. They feel like something from a meme game. When you get off of them, they fly in the air and rotate. As they run, they leave flames behind. And when riding them, you just feel like you're on ice physics. So this all felt like it was silly on purpose, and really clashed with the dark tone that had already been established. Now moving on to how it feels to play Dead Wells. I found the gameplay to be much less polished than the visuals. Like all Souls-likes, a lot of the gameplay is centered around the combat, and I did not find the combat fun at all the first time I played, where I picked the Bloody Berserker starting class. With this loadout, the combat was just not clicking for me. I just didn't like how slow the weapon was, and the sub-weapon, which was some kind of rat bomb, was just not that useful. That combined with the glitches I encountered, the info dump tutorials, and the unskippable death cutscenes and boss intro cutscenes created a pretty bad first impression for me. And that is a shame because I now think the gameplay here is amazing, but just not completely refined. Anyway, I tried a couple of the other starting classes, but didn't really like any of them, until I chose the Wayward Knight. They have a shield you can use to block. Their attacks are fast, which allows you to easily build up combos and launch enemies into the air. And the sub-weapon they start with creates a distraction that attracts enemies, similar to an alluring skull from Dark Souls. Sticking with this character, I grew to really love the combat system. My takeaway from all this is that the starting classes are not very well balanced in terms of both effectiveness and enjoyableness. So if you are going to play this, I definitely recommend starting with this Sword and Shield class. One more thing I want to mention about the gameplay is how it rewards aggression. Killing enemies doesn't only yield you a certain amount of currency, they always drop some kind of pickup for you as well. Whether that be a green orb that restores a little bit of your health, a blue orb that restores a little bit of your magic points, or different kinds of ammo. I thought this was a really nice way to further incentivize fighting enemies. There's also a combo system that buffs stats like damage and attack speed with each increase of your combo rank. Obviously that would encourage players to take more risks, and I really enjoyed mastering that as I got more and more experience with the game. As I mentioned earlier, there are a significant amount of glitches and oversights that I encountered while playing. For example, after dying to the first boss a couple of times, I tried fighting him again, and after a little while the screen randomly faded to black, and I was transported to the next location. So that was weird. It was pretty easy to get out of bounds in some areas. And just one more thing I'll mention is that not all controls are shown in the control list. So you have a primary and secondary weapon that you can switch between, and the button for this is the R key. The only place that is told to you is when talking to this specific NPC, so if you forget about that and try to look at the control menu to refresh yourself, you will not be able to figure out what button it is. There were plenty of other oversights or glitches that I found, so those were just a couple of them. Overall, I think Dead Wells is really promising and has a lot of potential. I highly recommend it, especially if you really like Souls games and or games with a retro aesthetic. As it is right now, you're going to have to meet the game where it's at, have some patience, experiment with it, try to look past the glitches you'll probably encounter, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with this game. So definitely check it out, the link is in the description. If you've tried this demo, let me know what you thought about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.